Hi, I'm Tom Slack. I'm an artist, and I've been asked to talk to you a little bit about my artwork, the things that interest me, and some of the techniques I use in my art. So I'm going to be showing you examples of a few of my paintings. Some people say that I'm an impressionist. I don't know. I just paint and it comes out that way. So what I'm going to do is, at this point, start talking to you about my paintings. This is called On Grandma's Patio. The techniques that I use here, first of all, I have these kids all sitting in a circle. So it gives a feeling that there's a volume inside there. And as if you will look, in this painting and in all my other paintings, what I'm looking for is shapes of shadows. Don't think about what the actual object is. I'm looking for shapes or coming up with shapes. So for example, I have a shape here on this shirt that's painted here. I have a shape of a value here. And I just put these things. Another thing is I don't put a lot of detail in that you don't see. If I can't see it when I'm squinting, I don't paint it in. So in other words, if you look at this face here, that's basically what you're going to see. So, you know, I just am pretty simple in what I'm trying to do, looking for things like highlights, looking for value changes, like on these cups. These are shadows in here, and then the light values of the colors. And then you see things like this. With this back in here, this is a shape or value. This is a shape or value, a light or dark, portraying sunlight and portraits. And I consider this one as my Mona Lisa. This is Chow Fei. She was a graduate art student at Miami University. And I have her portrayed in her art light. First of all, I have light coming in from her window, which you see reflected on her face, on her fingers, and on the edges of these wrinkles in her clothing. You can see her tubes of paint and so forth. I have highlights in her eyes, in her hair, and other things like you look at her hair and as you just feel the wispiness of her hair, you have the shadow, the light, so forth. You have the light and the shadowed in her flesh tone, like here in her arm and so forth. And again, this is my favorite of all my portraits. This won an award, the Governor's Choice Award, and it hung in Governor Frank O'Bannon's mansion for a period of time. And I'm very proud of it. I really love doing portraits. I teach art classes, and one of the classes I teach is about still life. This shows you a basic technique that I use. Basically, as I say, I separate things down by shapes of colors, shapes of values, and so forth. So when I have these things here, I'll draw them in, but then I draw in the shapes. So I'll have a shape here, and a shape here, a shape here, so forth. So I paint this shape in, paint this in, and paint this in, put them together like a jigsaw puzzle. Do the same thing with the other apples, and then I look at this shape, and these shapes here, paint them in like a jigsaw puzzle, as well as this, and this. Things and you see always do to make sure that you're interested is I will put an object in. In this case, the object is me. Here I am fishing on Sugar Creek. And so I'm standing in a creek. I put my reflection down here. I have the leaves here which reflect down below. And then here, what I'm doing, you're able to see here is a shadow because of the darker colors, the bluish colors. But if you go to the right, then you see this lighter, which is portraying light coming through the trees. So you know that you're going to come and it'll go back around this corner. Now on this one, which I call Paddling with Grandpa, I'm actually representing myself here as Grandpa. And here I have a canoe. I have two children here, a person sitting here, and as you look directly below, I have reflections. I have a child who's reaching their hand into the water. This child's looking the other direction. Of course, this person's hanging on to the person. The only thing I'd like to say, you can see that I have done the faces and the arms and so forth very simply. As I said, when I do these paintings, I only paint what you would actually see. I don't have a whole lot of detail here in the face or on the arms, but that's what you see, and it does make sense in your mind. If I put too much detail, it would not have worked based upon the shadow and the light that would have been in the area. Now you can see the water comes, and down below here, the water's sort of ripply, so that's where this stuff comes from. And then as the light kind of shines through, there are bugs and so forth in the air. You can see shadow and light on the cloth. Give the illusion of reflection in the water. I love to do street scenes with people, vehicles, cars, trucks, and whatever. One of the things I love about it is the way that it does give a feeling of depth. We have two different types of perspective here. We have linear perspective. This line goes up to here, this line goes to here, this comes here, and we know that the vanishing point is about here. Because of that, it feels like you're walking in. The other type of perspective is atmospheric perspective. With atmospheric perspective, things that are closer are portrayed bigger. So he's put on here bigger, she's put on here middle, and he's put on there small. Also, things that are closer up are more defined than things that are further back. So with those two types of perspective, you have a feeling that you can walk right up into the painting. This painting takes place in Greektown in Detroit. If you look up here, we have U.S. flags and Greek flags. You have the shadows of the flags from straight up above. A couple of things to mention. If you're looking, this whole area, including her skirt, is all the same color. So I don't paint a different color here. Your eye puts it together. Also, in here, some of the light on his pants blends down here. Another thing, although we know that the road is asphalt, when the afternoon sun is shining on it, it appears white. I did this painting as a demo for an oil painting class I was teaching, and one of the things I was trying to portray in here is perspective. We have linear perspective. The lines go here to a center point, so this one, this one, this one, this one, they all emerge to this point here. We also have atmospheric perspective. This car's bigger than this one, which is bigger than this one, which is bigger than this one, which gives a feeling of depth. The other thing. So that tells you a little bit about my art. Keep in mind that the important things to me, which help me to be a successful artist, are to look for shapes of values, shapes of shadows, and when you're doing a painting, break down everything into the shapes of the colors you see or the values you see, and then start painting them together like a jigsaw puzzle. And with that, it will make your painting vibrant and exciting.